in the bottom left in the red, the darling of Atlanta before he unfortunately fell down in the playoffs. He is NightMare. His opponent in the upper right in the blue. He took down swiftly dispatched Firefly. Let's see just how far he can go. It is Cure. What do we got here, right? Game 1 of the series. It's a big map. It's data C. No proxies. No proxy reaper. Nothing like that. That's actually pretty common. I'm wondering if I don't think so. It seems like this is primarily right now something that we're seeing European Terrans experiment with. But I'm keeping my eye out for these mag field plays. It seems powerful. It seems somewhat useful, although not as much against Blink Stalker openings. I think it's really good against like Phoenix Colossus ideas. Maybe. Because if you can get enough Cyclones, that bonus 10 damage per shot on Phoenix, which are already pretty, I don't know, they're pretty weak. They don't have a lot of HP. That can be pretty significant. Wow, I just said pretty far too many times. Ugh. They're not great. They're incredibly mobile. They do a lot for you, but they're not tanky. That's the word I was looking for. They don't have a big buffer that allows them to survive a ton of shots. So adding on that little extra damage over time may make the difference between Phoenix play being valid or viable in the game and it not being. But for now, we're not seeing any of that. We're keeping our eyes out, of course, but NightMare for his part also playing something pretty similar. So if we're going to see players, and this often happens at the start of a patch, where players they try to play what was best in the old patch, and then they slowly start to come to terms with what is good in the new patch. How the build orders need to change. I mean, how long did it take for us to get the hero style PvZ? It took Hero coming back from the military and playing for a year. 9 months. Before we started to get that style really nailed down. And I don't know how long it would have taken if Hero didn't return. So it can often take a while for builds to get figured out, especially at the highest levels. If you got money on the line, you don't want to be throwing around something new, something weird that people have seen before, or that people have never seen just on the off chance that it's good. You want to go for the stuff that you know is going to win you 60% of your games. Which if you're winning 60% of your games against the best players in the world, that's a good way to win a lot of money. So for now, much like the previous games that we've had, Cure goes for a Widowmine drop. But only 2. He's not committing to this incredibly... Oh, as I say that, I'm sorry. 2 more Widowmines on the way. This is a much more committed Widowmine drop than we saw against Firefly in the previous series. And well, NightMare for his part, it's a blink opener. 2-gate blink. Which means we should expect to see a third base. Well, I'm sorry. No. This is 3-gate. Excuse me, 3-gate blink. I made assumptions, and you know what they say about assumptions. They're often wrong. But anyways, 3-gate blink on the map with a Robo as well. There's a world where NightMare chooses to get aggressive in some way, but for right now, Widowmine drop in the main base. Stalkers do not have blink ready just now. 1 Widowmine gets not targeted down, and 2 workers will fall. But okay, you know what? 3 workers for 4 Widowmines, and they all die. Nice job there. The assimilator, we were talking about that in the last series, but the assimilator saves everything. Saves the probe going into it, and I've always been, I don't know, surprised is maybe not the word. But it feels like that is something that players can learn to do on purpose. It won't save every worker, of course, but especially against like a double drop, it could be pretty nice. Hellions were dropped into the main base here, diving into the natural, seeing if they can get any damage. Kira killed Firefly almost in the previous game, and probes are going to get pulled, but 2 workers have died already. And as the Adept tries to join, this Adept is also very low. Stalker has to get warped in. The 4 workers go down, make it 5, and that should do it, but that's still 5 workers to 2 Hellions, one of which was already pretty heavily injured. Yeah, that's fair, Kazoots. We were seeing double factory play, but it was like a double cyclone factory all in. But okay, here comes NightMare on his 3 gateways, warping in 3 stalkers at a time. Charge on the way behind. This third base halfway done. And let's see if he can make something happen. He's got a Raven on the high ground. Got it. Oh, actually 2 tanks behind, 3 tanks in total. This is a difficult position here for NightMare to break, but he's going to try to blink on top of the tank right on past. Auto turret placed preemptively, and that's actually a great decision. Just a lot more extra damage. The stalkers cannot stay in close as well as they would have liked, and they took a lot of damage. That was not the best blinking coming in from NightMare. He lost a lot of stalkers. 5 stalkers go down, and at this stage, that's for 1 tank. That is not what you want here. But still, oh well, 4 stalkers will show up until tank shells away and kills 1. NightMare, he had the timing on the extras. But I mean, that's 6 stalkers down. That's the bulk of his aggression. He committed to a Warp Prism early. That means he had to get something done. Warp Prisms, that's valuable robo build time, whether it's for Colossus or even just observers. You want to have that robo that allows you to do things on the map, that allows you to, well, it allows you to advance your tech in a much quicker way. So a couple more SCVs have fallen, but stalkers die as well, and this is just not working out for NightMare right now. Kira's looking damn good in this series, well, in this tournament thus far. So 1 Colossus is out, I think. Yeah, 1 Colossus is out. Second one on the way as Kira looks to press on the map. +1 done. Stim done. Combat shields are on the way. Concussive shells a little bit slower. But he's going to get himself set up right now on his not massively significant army supply lead. To be totally fair, it's 16 supplies. Not horrible, but it's not great. And then tanks, well, they got to get sieged up. We're going to see disable. Actually, we might not even see disables with how much it's been nerfed. We might be finding out, because we saw Akira do this against Firefly, against the Stalkers. It might just be worth it to go and just always cast the anti-armor missile. Yeah, it's a little bit nerfed, but it seems less nerfed maybe than the other units in terms of actually the effectiveness. But Zealots are getting ready for the flank. They do have charge. And while this is starting to shell away, it's not the scariest position. So now here comes NightMare from multiple sides. Is the Raven gonna do anything? Oh, he gets a disable on 1 Colossus, but NightMare saves the other. And while there is a tank sitting behind those rocks, actually that seems to do it. The tank on the right side is adding so much firepower here. The NightMare goes for the break, and despite the fancy little dodge there on the interference matrix, it's not gonna be enough. He does not have the break. Kira continues the siege, continues to boa constrict NightMare down. Let's see whether he's actually going to be able to complete the constriction, take the head off. Because now there's a drop on the main base here. Double drop, Widow Mines, Marauders, a couple Marines. And now, where does NightMare want to look? Does he put his army at the front? Does he put it at the left side? NightMare, he's caught between a rock and a hard place, trying to get Zealots on top of the tank, and he does so he's going to break the front. But the problem is, there's nothing in the main. 19 probes have gone down. It's going to be a recall here, and that just gives Kira the opportunity to run forward. There's not a lot defending this third base. I'm not even sure. Okay, it's going to be enough to knock this drop down, but that's still 19 probes. And the drop here at the front, ooh, something just fell down. The Brio here at the front is intensely powerful. The Zealots, they're going to try to run forward, but they don't have any upgrades. And now our Colossus under fire. 1.5 instead of 2.0 on the shield battery overcharge. Not as strong as it once was. The Colossus stays alive. But as much as you'd like it to stay alive, you need stuff to defend it. You need stuff to buffer for it. NightMare struggling again to stay above 100 supply. And this relentless pressure coming in from Kira is actually so good. He's getting so much done. That drop in the main base unlocked the entire map for Kira. He's going to stim in once again, maybe get a Colossus, maybe get an Archon. Not there yet, just yet. In fact, he's kind of channeling Beyond a little bit. The lack of Vikings right now is, well, it's making it hard. But if you want to play multi-prong, if you just want to macro like a god, Kira's always been a very macro Terran. That makes sense. So for now, ghosts are on the way 3 at a time. And remember, folks, ghosts in the late game were nerfed. There's no enhanced shockwaves. But as a result of that, ghosts were they were allowed to meet in the middle. Enhanced shockwaves, of course, have gone. Not all that great. But now, basic EMPs, it's halfway there. So the radius is 1.25, I think, instead of 1 and 1.5. So the initial ghosts popping out are actually rather strong. When I did my patch reaction video, I was kind of thinking that we might see more SCV pulls. That made sense to me. Because that initial 3 ghost timing, where 3 EMPs are just about enough to blanket the entire army, is actually even more powerful than it once was. You add a bunch of SCVs, which are, of course, they fight better now. We haven't seen it from the pros just yet, but I can see that still happening. So anyway, the rally finds its way onto the other side of the map, and Cure stims in. No Vikings though. I mean, he's got a couple, but really not a ton, and he's actually kind of they're with the army. One shield battery will go down. Shield battery overcharge, luckily, is on the back one though, so that's going to keep this army alive. Heal it right back on up, and Cure, he's maxed out just about. His army is not going to get much stronger for a while than it is right now, so he's going to try to trade here. Stalkers blink forward. Widowmine goes off. It doesn't really hit much of anything, and well, that's a free disruptor maybe, but there's another one zoning, and well, Cure is just playing right at the edge of this with the radius buff 20% less effective. And we're seeing that right here. Colossus has fallen. Disruptors are starting to fall. Cure now getting ready to push right on forward. The Zealots are getting ground down, and it really is just on these Colossus, but it's 1 remaining, and there's nothing much here. The 3rd base is dead. Disruptor shot, it's not going to get enough, and there is really nothing doing for NightMare anymore. Yes, a couple Zealots can warp in, but NightMare, folks, he's dead. He's in the ground, and it truly is a nightmare for the Protoss player here in this game at number 1. I don't know what he's supposed to do. But he lost the base. He lost his entire army. It's 88 army supply disc, 15. And NightMare, well, that's very much a fantasy GG timing, but he's out of here. Cure, game 1. In the upper right now, in the red, he's down a game. I played decently well, but Cure just had a little too much time after time after time. His name is NightMare. And in the bottom left, in the blue, up a game, looking again damn strong here this evening, or I guess morning if you're in Korea. It is Cure. So where do we go? Cure went pretty standard. Game number 1, although it was 4 Widowmines, not 2. It was a cat repositions herself to be more comfortable in my. Cats are such a treasure. I mean, I love dogs too, but there are no dogs in this house. There are only cats right now. Got some long claws on those toe beans, cat. She's become acclimatized or used to me talking a lot in a loud, vociferous voice pretty quickly, because a couple days ago I wasn't even casting, actually. I was testing that the setup is up properly and working, and she was very happy in my lap. And then the moment she decided to the moment I started talking, she was like, nope, we're out, run away. But that is no longer the case. Hey, it's Trisha Payne. It was such a pleasure to meet you at Atlanta. I hope you're doing well. Wow, I control shift F'd it on the wrong keyboard. Oops. Because I have my nice keyboard plugged into the stream PC, and I have the keyboard of the other PC just here. Mistakes were made. Oh, the laptop that I'm actually playing the StarCraft game on. You rated for the... Yes, this is important, Trisha Payne. All I'm saying is I'm having much higher viewership than I normally do. And I don't think we're missing any of the standard European or North American people. And I've had a cat in my lap for the majority of this stream. So I need to go get a cat in New Hampshire. It ups stream viewership by a significant margin, and I can write off the adoption fees on my taxes, clearly. But look at what we got here. Coming in from Cure. Now, did NightMare see this? I'm not sure. No, he has no idea. He hasn't sent anything up on the high ground until right now. He sends a Zealot across, actually. Interesting. Now, Marauder is out, and that's a massive scout. Concussive Shell's not done for another 10 seconds, so the Zealot may actually go. It may actually be able to escape here. And the natural is delayed, so this is a really awkward setup. Actually, really for both players. NightMare and Cure, this is not a situation they run into all that often, but now the Zealot will fall, and the natural should complete. There's an Oracle on the way behind this coming out, and there's 2 Adepts right now, but, well, Adepts don't really kill Marauders. So that is something. There's a 3rd one on the way, and that will force the Shades to cancel. And the Marauders, if they can tag an Adept, that's going to be very nice. But remember, NightMare, he understands the range of these Marauders. He's got a good understanding of where they can be. So he's not going to, I don't think, oh, no, he gets tagged, and that's going to be 1 dead Adept. And realistically, I don't know, well, this is the question, is this Adept falls, how much anti-air is there? Literally nothing. This Oracle can do a lot. 1 Widowmine will be done soon, but the Oracle should dive in. Yeah, there we go. Adept kills the Marauder. This Oracle should dive in and see where the Widowmine is. In fact, there's a world where the Oracle kills the Widowmine, but no, it seems like NightMare is going to be too cautious and just sits on the edge of things, does not want to lose the Oracle. He's already in a good position. Why lose it? So 4 workers will go down. It's going to be 5 maybe. Oh, he's out of energy. 2 very low SCVs, but he runs out of energy, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, there we go. Oracle defensively on the other side will be able to knock this down as well. So Cure on both fronts, not succeeding. Not thriving. In fact, seems like this game, I don't know how quick this game's going to go, but certainly if it does, we can chalk it down to failure to thrive. Anyways, the Marauders, they're all dead. Oracles, they're out of energy for the moment. Their utility is going to be delayed for just a little bit. But this gives NightMare all the room in the world. Here committed to this early game tech, this aggression that he thought he was going to be able to do, or at least catch the aggression of NightMare. But the Oracles, they made that not happen. Is now, there we go. We're going to have the Widowmine get caught. A Cyclone triggers this lock on, but it gets barely any damage done. I have been followed by a balance whiner. How old is your account, balance whiner? Like, I gotta imagine having the original balance whiner, because that seems to be just balance whiner, not any no extra characters. That's gotta be an old account, right? Yep, 2014. That makes sense. So Blink halfway done, and it seems like this is going to be Blink into Charge. We already have a Templar Archives on the way. This might be Blink into Charge Storm. It's 4 gases. Certainly if we go up into 5, that will be charged, but for now we're just paying attention. +1 stim combat shields. They're approaching completion. Certainly stim is. Combat shields +1. They're a little bit further away, but done by that 7:30 timing that we set our clocks by in TVP. Although it's funny, I say that. It's kind of out of date. It seems like for now, at the very least, we're seeing much more early timings, early command center timings. This setting your watch by a Terran 311 is not quite as accurate as it used to be. As the Oracle's now looking for a scout. Have a great night, Trisha. Happy Boxing Day. Happy holidays. Hope your Christmas was awesome if you celebrate, or whatever it is you do. Hope you had a great time. I'm actually slightly sad as the Oracle dives in, and Cyclone actually gets hull damage. There we go. I'm a little sad. I had some delicious mulled wine that my girlfriend prepared. My partner prepared. And, well, I'm out of it. Not here anymore. But here now, moving out at that 7:30 timing anyways. But Storm will be done by the time this happens. And remember, High Templar are faster. They're not fast, but they stay with the army so much better. So it's kind of a quality of life change, but even still, you're kind of guaranteed to have the storms that you need. Storm is now done. Here, can NightMare trigger this trap before it's ready? Cyclones get lock-ons. The bio stims backwards. Okay, damage in the main base. Drop here is actually getting a lot done. Only 2 Zealots defensively. A couple more will warp in, but that is a terrifying position to try to fight into. Zealots are falling, and now, well, actually, good deal here. First of all, probe pulls are pretty strong, but second of all, Oracles will return, and they're going to be able to deal with that one. And now Stalkers warp in defensively, so Cure has to get the hell away from here. But okay, +1 armor in this case, charge both on the way. And with Chronos, NightMare's charges are going to be very quick indeed. Now, reminder, folks, it used to be that Protoss upgrades, as a result of a patch a while ago, were 14.2 seconds slower than the rest of the other two races upgrades, because they have Chrono, right? And the upgrade where the balance changes we're messing around with right now cut that in half. So now they are 7.1 seconds slower than the other two races, and certainly with Chrono that's even faster. Marine dives in, sees the stasis trap, and triggers that one off. Says, well, sacrifices his life, or at least his timing, for the cause. As this cat is ludicrously cute. It's actually unfair. I know this is a StarCraft cast, but I'm sorry, I have a cat in my lap. This is the content. Although I do not have a channel point rewards redemption for giving the cat treats, because come January 4th, I will not have cats anymore. It's very sad. Oh, these oracles, though, they got to be careful here. Lock on one, but good revelation. They will be able to get the hell on out. So NightMare now knows where he needs to defend his position to. Ghosts are on the way, but NightMare, he's already eclipsing that position. He's got double Colossus on the way. Extended Thermal Lance, it's just started, though. So his tech is not, it's on the way to being good, but it's not there just yet. And maybe Cure is going to be able to make this happen beforehand. One storm goes down, but doesn't get that much done. Cyclone actually gets the lock on, but does not get the damage it wants. So the Ghosts, they run forward. Good feedbacks, but one EMP still hits anyways. And, well, shield batteries get the army back, but the splash damage is what's lacking here. And I don't know that we have a Warp Prism. Okay, but there is a High Templar behind this. A couple SCVs go down to, what is that? Zealot run by on the third base. Cure being forced to be a little bit all in. An Armor Shredder missile. Interesting. That was a different color when we played. That changed again? The anti-armor missile, it's much more visible than it was the last series. Maybe there's another change. I don't know, but still, Widowmines have gone down. 5 SCVs going down. Cure losing control of his third base for the most part. And NightMare's Colossus are just about out. Oh, they are out. Excuse me. He's going up to 4 pretty quickly. And Mother's no extended thermal lance. I mean, that's still powerful against this army that has nothing to really deal with them. A Raven, kind of, but not even. No Cure on the bottom right side. Stims forward. Feedback on the Ghost, but there are enough at this point that it's a little dicey. Still, even the feedbacks are good. I don't know that it's going to be enough, though. NightMare's army is not in the position it needs to be, but here come the Colossus on the high ground. If they can at least go take a fight and clean this army up on the backside, that might be worth doing. As Zealots run in on the other side of the map, dealing with Cure's third base, at least making it hard to maintain. It's actually just one Zealot. 3 more Zealots are not really shifted in. The Colossus get a lot of damage. And NightMare is still long distance mining, so he's still at least getting some money from this setup, from this fourth base position. As the Stalkers blink forward, trying to knock down something. EMPs blanket them, though, and that means they do have to back up. But now here comes NightMare on the attack, on the understanding that his army is powerful as hell. Not as good as it'll be in about, I don't know, 20, 25 seconds. Win +1 is done. But still, these 4 Colossus, if he can hit this timing before the Viking count is out in force, that's going to be nice. It's 2 Vikings. Although it is 9 Ghosts, and Ghosts are, we all know how good Ghosts are, even as they have been nerfed. In this stage of the game, technically that's a buff. The 1.25 EMP radius is better than it once was, and I don't know that we'd have enhanced shockwaves this early in, well, our 12 minutes in. But I don't have a timing for enhanced shockwaves in my head because it is actually kind of variable. But another 4th base or prospective 5th base gets canceled. Disruptor gets a couple Marauders. 2 will go down. That's very nice. And again, every time Cure runs onto the other side of the map, NightMare, he gets some Zealots into the 3rd base of Cure, and Cure's 4th base is only just now getting started. He's not economically advantaged as well as he would like to be. Maybe trying to posture on the north side. Again, another revelation on the Oracle, though, so this can't turn into a drop. Although these Zealots will die very, very quickly. Ooh, go and fish and get something. What are these? What do they get? 11 kills. Well, actually, we have this now. 5 Marauders, 2 Marines. Not bad. And this army gets tagged up here. Oh, Oracle doesn't even go down. Oh, that stasis trap is massive as well. So NightMare is really starting to dominate the map. And now you might ask yourself, hey, Bale, if he's doing so well, why isn't he maxed? Well, you always want to keep 10 odds supply, maybe, just in the float. Unless you're going for a big attack right now, because you want to be able to warp into counter Terran aggression for the most part. So Zealots get a little bit of damage, and Disruptor Shot's going to try to get on top of this army that was all stasis. So now Cure's army supply pretty horrible, and he's already traded off some of his own, which means that he has those defensive warp-ins as he needs them. So he was able to take advantage of the Terran mistake, back up, get another base on the bottom side, and eventually, I think, take this pocket base. So life is going well for NightMare. He's really, again, starting to dominate the map state. He's now going up to 5 bases. Cure just barely has his 4th. These Widowmines, they're going to be a little bit annoying. They should get taken down fairly quickly. There we go. They're all dead. And as the observers run across. Oh, Widowmine is going to get an Oracle. That's obnoxious. You do want those Oracles, but at least they got the low health one. You care about those a little bit less. Widowmine full center mass there. EMP is on the army as well, but there are still storms available. These High Templars have been around for a damn long time, and it seems like this 4th base is just going to go down. Stalkers, can they get enough damage on it? They need to deal with the Vikings as well. Bowling for Ghosts, and they get a couple. Meanwhile, Zealots find their way into that 3rd base, but it's all about this fight at the front. Oh, really about this fight at the front. And now Graphitic Drive is up, so Warp Prism's a little faster. Of course, Graphitic Boosters is the thing that got buffed. And now, what are the Colossus looking for? Something. They're looking for something. Disruptor's not going to get much at the start, but still, it's always these Zealots in the 3rd base getting more and more damage. 14 workers have died. And now, 3-3 on the way for the Protoss player. 2-2. Actually, 3-3 about halfway done for Cure, but again with the buffs on things. NightMare, even without Kronos, is going to be pretty damn close to the Terran, and with Kronos, he's going to be able to pull ahead pretty well. DT is running into the 3rd and the 4th base, but that's going to be a nice scan there. Cure catches that one pretty easily, but not the DTs on the other side. And well, there are missile turrets going up, but they're not here just yet. Disruptor again hits, but not the money shot. Oh, that's a well-placed scan. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from that Dark Templar. But I gotta imagine NightMare's pretty content with this. He's sitting here. He's on 6 bases as he takes his 6th. He's maxed out. He's starting to build a bank. Massive, actually, gas bank here, surprisingly enough. And he's going to find the army, looking to get right on top of it. The planetary is now done, but I think this army, well, that's a lot of dead SCVs regardless. EMPs get on top of things. Disruptor Shot will not land. It had an opportunity to, but NightMare did not actively micro as well as he could have. But in the choke, no, that's not what you want here. I'm sorry, I woke up the cat. But that was massive. That was the type of competition that you're looking for. Yeah, the Colossus, they may go down to these Vikings, but who the hell cares? This army has been eviscerated, evaporated. Not decimated. That's 1 in 10. This was worse. And the High Templars, well, they're still fighting the good fight. NightMare, though, I don't think he had a warp in. No, he didn't have a warp prism, so he was not able to capitalize on this one as much as I thought he would have, to be totally honest. He's still in a great spot. Although he didn't get the 4th base. The storm on the backside softens this army up a little bit. This one, Colossus, is not all that low. And remember, NightMare's making more of them. He's advancing his tech even further, but here comes a massive surround from Cure. Disruptors on the left side, EMPs blanket this army. Stalkers on the right, more disruptors here on the left side, forcing out that position. And yeah, it's a great concave from Cure. It really, truly is. But I'm not sure that it's going to be enough. Certainly not as the Zealots run in with 2-3. They're tanky, and NightMare forces us, drags us through the weight of his storms and his disruptors and his vision. That's the big one to a game 3. In the upper left, folks, in the red. He fell down in the first game, but oh man, that map control, that vision he was able to establish was beautiful. He is NightMare. And on the bottom right, in the blue. Lots of pressure. Game 1 worked out. Game 2, a little less so. And he wants a match. He wants a rematch with his teammate. He wants a rematch with Dark. It is Cure. Man, I love when I get unsolicited Twitter DMs that are trying to get me to buy Bitcoin. So a Reaper expand from Cure. I don't even know why I need to say it. Reaper expand is such a standard thing. It's when we do something that's not that. They were like, oh, okay, the Terran's doing something a little bit different. Although you know what? As I say that, we've seen a lot of double gas openings from the Terran in the recent, I don't know, weeks. Especially Beyond, really. Beyond in here. Here Marine always does it, but especially from Beyond. So I guess we need to point out that Kira is not doing that. He's going for your standard opener, 1-1-1 single gas for a while, Reaper expand, move from there, likely double Widowmine drop into something maybe more interesting. But NightMare for his part, it's going to be a Stargate opener, and we've seen a lot of heavy Phoenix play up at this point. A lot of well. In fairness, I guess, that was not heavy Phoenix play from NightMare. We haven't seen much of NightMare. I think he had a decent run in Korea, if I'm not forgetting myself. What did he do in Korea? Steel Pigs POV for just a second, because I'm just taking a look at this. We had like no one in Korea this week. It was 13 players that actually checked in. It was the Adept. Ooh, did it go down? It got out by the skin of its teeth. It got out. Yeah, NightMare. He lost 2-1 to Sue. That's what. Okay, yeah. That was what it was. Okay, so Phoenix are now on the way. Did we get an Oracle out? We did not. So no Oracles, just Phoenix. That strong defensive capability, and that means technically this Widowmine drop finding its way in. Sorry, that's a Hellion, but the eventual Widowmine drop that we're going to see, it shouldn't get that much done. Now, just because it shouldn't doesn't mean it won't, but for right now, Phoenix is going to show up, and it's going to get scattered by the Reaper. That's nice. Great KDA charge, actually. Denies about, I don't know, 5-6 seconds of mining time from all those probes. That's pretty impactful. God, Cat, your claws are so long. Oh, we lost the cat. Very sad. Her sister arrived and wanted to take her on an adventure, but the Phoenix actually getting pretty significant damage done here on the medevac, and we're gonna see barracks delayed for just a little bit. More Marines will fall, but this also means that the Widowmine drop that we would expect to see, is it on the map right now? Actually, I guess not. The medevac that was going to be the medevac drop took damage and is staying back at home, as it seems like for the moment. We got hit by a little bit of a ping spike. Sorry about that, folks. Sometimes the whale does a barrel roll around the undersea cables, and it spikes some latency, but we're gonna be fine. And I'm excited. It's not gonna be super visible for you all until, I don't know, next Monday, maybe. But we are Claire's getting new internet as of I think tomorrow or Wednesday, because Spectrum is kind of horrible, to be totally honest. It's we've had so many issues ever since, even just since I've been here, but even since as long as she's had it, where the internet just, the first day I was here, internet didn't work from 5 a.m. probably up until she got home from work at like 4 in the afternoon, or like 4:30. Which was kind of obnoxious. I was trying to get streaming stuff working and get stuff uploaded to YouTube and whatever. And that is a big reason why YouTube content has slowed while I've been down here. I just have not been able to upload things properly. But anyways, Phoenix get a couple more workers. And the Widowmine drop idea, by the way, it's gone. That didn't happen at all. It just too much pressure by these Phoenix, and once that's scouted out, the Phoenix are going to catch it. It's just better to keep the Widow Mines at home and maybe make something of it. As this well, Cyclone gets picked up and dropped down and goes once again, but this okay. So charge is done. Now there's Blink on the way. NightMare staying. This is Phoenix charge slot. He's Widow Mine. Good split there from NightMare. It loses a Phoenix, but could have been so much worse. He's going to be building a lot of Zealots behind this, and if Cure goes for some sort of 2-base timing, which it seems very much like he's going to do right now, this is not one of those newfangled 5-minute 3rd base builds. It seems like this build is designed to kill that. All the tech, if you have that, so all the Widow Mines here, the Cyclone, they get knocked down. The Raven is hard to hold on to, and then the Zealots kill everything else. Although it is important to note that while the Zealots, technically, they do kill everything else, they don't have upgrades. They will not have +1 armor that you're normally looking for. In Cure, he's going straight into armor behind this. Normally, if you're really committing to this push, you delay your armor a little bit. All money is just going into that anvil, into that cauldron of Terran aggression, and nothing else matters. But, well, I guess in this game, well, he's going to go for it anyways. The Phoenix are on the other side. They're going to see that there's no army here, and they're going to have to run home. But it is 31 seconds across the map, and let's just see if NightMare is ready. It's going to be spicy. Regardless, as the bio is going to find that, yes, there's Zealots on the right side, but the flank is already getting set up. Phoenix on the backside. They're going to get one medevac here to start. The Widow Mines, they're all going to burr up. No, they're all going to get lifted here, but there are no Stalkers to kill them off just really. It's all on the Phoenix play, and it seems like, a little bit of lag. Hopefully the players didn't get that one. Seems they did not. Bio-microing backwards, lifting on the army, and the big deal with this Zealot Phoenix army is you cannot escape from it. Not really. You got to run, you got to hide, but the Phoenix and the Chargeless, they continue to kill things. They continue to pair things off. The Stalkers blink forward as well. All the medevacs will now fall, and this actually might just kill him. This might just kill Cure 100%, but there's another Widow Mine. Gets a lot of the Phoenix. And NightMare does have to back up, at least for the moment, and he's warping it at home. He does have this gateway on the map. That may have been something he forgot about. But he's not going to try to press the issue. And I think that's fair. Yeah, well, it's one thing to chase the Terran all the way home with his tail between his legs. But once he's there behind a wall like that, once it's Fortress Terran, breaking that one is nigh impossible. But there is going to be a timing after all. Yeah, you can't break a Terran on 2 bases. Even 3 bases. Cure is taking the less efficient 3rd. But when they look to take this forward base, if you're quick and if you're on time, that can work out for you. But anyways, NightMare right now, he's got a Robo on the way. Robo done, excuse me, second one on the way, adding in that Robo Bay as well. He's moving to the next round of his tech, but this army from Cure is somewhat exposed. And let's see whether Cure takes the bait. Stims forward, tries to knock down the Phoenix maybe, but the Zealots from the right side. They're going to find that in the front, trying to track this army in the... Actually, okay, the Zealots are just going for a bit of a run by, not trying to trap the army in the choke after all, which is valid. That's actually probably the worst position to try to fight into a Terran. And Cure's on the map. He's down on army supply, but this army is still pretty scary. 1-1 versus the 0-0 of NightMare. No Raven, so we're not going to see any armor shredder missile, but the Zealots trying to join in, drag on top of the army. Widow Mines, they get every single Phoenix, and that's a bit of a problem now. This bio is still here. It is still strong, and NightMare went from 10 army supply up to 10 army supply down. He lost so much to all those Widow Mines, although, of course, as the Zealots come in from behind, you got to run away just a little bit. And one Phoenix survives, but, I mean, talk about a way to get back into a game. That was tremendous. Colossus being made 2 at a time at this point, and that's the next test. Yeah, Cure was able to I'm not even sure I can say equalize, but get closer to equalizing after all that pressure with the Widow Mines and the Dragon really not taking too much friendly fire. But can he deal with the Colossus? I don't know. He doesn't have any Vikings. He's got Ghost. Sure, he's got an army that deals with this ground pounding Chargelot Stalker army, but the next level of tech is already here, and it's gonna be a tough hold. as Zealots continue to try to shark, knock down reinforcements as well as they can. Fourth base now here for NightMare, and the Zealots, they filter forward, but the Widowmines have already been so impactful, and those are great EMPs. But the Colossus, they were here. Shield Battery overcharge gets triggered, so there's that. But Colossus, it's just buying time. Extended Thermal Lance is now the thing that is on the way. Hey, the Sherman. But not P. Sherman. Not 42 Wallaby Way Sydney, just this Sherman. Now, the Sherman, I'm not convinced. I'm not going to accuse you of anything here, but isn't that the exact same message, like down to the emotes that you sent when you dropped 100 bits on my channel on Saturday night? I'm just saying that's a little sus, just a little bit, but I do appreciate the idea regardless. So thank you for that one. Zealots on the right side are going to get found out as NightMare takes the opportunity from his hold to take another base, and I'm somewhat surprised to not see him take this one. Take that triangular setup. It feels like it's a little easier to hold, but maybe the idea is the Terran's not going to check the bottom left. Well, unfortunately for NightMare, the Terran does check the bottom left with his army, the middle, the pocket base with his scan. So you're starting to find a little bit of value, and certainly army supply is starting to crawl in the Terran's favor once again. I feel like I would like to see NightMare go for double forge, but in fairness, it's only single gas here. It's only actually 4 mineral patches now, not even 6. But that pocket base, it mines out very quickly. There's not a lot of money in it. Natural, also running out of money here. NightMare, while he's in a decent spot, he's got 71 workers. He's maxed out or close enough. His economy, I don't know that it supports double forge with how aggressive the Terran is being. As here comes the Terran, really coming in from multiple angles, trying to catch NightMare on bad splits. But there are 3 or 4 disruptors here in this army, and even with EMPs, that's not going to be all that much. It is okay. No, 2 Colossus here on the left side as well. So I don't know that Cure gets what he wants. At the very least, he's making life uncomfortable for NightMare, but you got to do more than just a lack of comfort to make this one happen. So there's a big flank coming in from the Terran. NightMare has to respond to this one. His army is arriving, but is it too late? Colossus standing strong here. The Concave coming in, but NightMare resets it. Disruptors on the right side doing a great job. You're trying to get on top of this Nexus, and it seems like that is, very much his prize. He kills it, doesn't even cancel. Oh, no, that was a cancel. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't think structures show up on the battle report. So I don't think Cure breaks any of these armies. NightMare is really well set up. So Cure is getting his 5th base ready. He already has his 4th. This game has the chance to go very late. So many bases are already taken. Economically, it's a decent spot. And Cure has not really been able to take a good fight. Not really. Disruptors are where they need to be. It's a lot of tech on one army. Less gateway, more gateway, less tech on the other side. But really, if NightMare is able to secure the space, I think he finally will. It seems like he's going to be in a good enough spot. I mean, that's going to be another base. That's going to be a lot more money in NightMare's pocket as he tries to build a bank, but realistically, his bank is not great. He's not 80 gas. He's not really, at least from that perspective, not all that wealthy. He's actually moving into carrier place soon enough. Carrier Tempest, but this is a big drop on the main base, and this might be finally what Cure has been looking for, the way to open this game up. Disruptors not able to find their positions just yet. Disruptors, they get something. Stalkers get 1 medevac, and Cure's only attacking in one place. He's not on the bottom side until, well, right about right now. Sees all the disruptors. Can he get them? But no. NightMare's on top of things, sees where the scan is, and the Colossus, the disruptors should be able to clean up this drop. I think the Colossus, there only one of them was fighting. That's a little bit awkward. But now finally, this has been dealt with. So NightMare survives, and Cure actually loses a decent amount of his army here. And it's not like either player had this tremendous bank that they were able to really take advantage of. NightMare not building anything at the moment. Did he lose tech? He lost 4 disruptors, so we would expect to see those get remade. He lost a couple probes, so we're seeing 5 probes now on the way at a time, although realistically not the biggest of deals, considering, I mean, this base is oversaturated. Natural is just about it's just about saturated. Main base, who cares? It's 1 mineral patch. It's not like there's a lot of ineffective mining here. So, oh, that's actually a massive catch here from NightMare. He gets a lot of this Terran army. Stalkers blink forward. Get medevac 1, get medevac 2. Do they get that one as well? And that one had ghosts and marauders in it. That was a lot more expensive. So NightMare, great trade there, and he's gonna have to catch this army on the map. This is such an interesting game from here. He has no interest in playing the straight up fight, and really NightMare is just handling this defense so tremendously well. This planetary now coming under threat by a bunch of +2 stalkers. They don't have +3 armor. Or +3 attack, excuse me. No armor either, I guess. And that means they're not able to, even with the bonus damaged armor, they're not able to punch through quite as well as they would like. But NightMare feels unlocked on the map. Gets another medevac. And if he can bring his army together, maybe this is what he wants. Now, Colossus is at the forefront, but EMPs don't really get much of anything. And this annoying, this gnat-like presence of 2 medevacs, not even fully saturated. Actually, 2 marauders and a ghost, that's it. But it's enough to distract NightMare from his push, to put pressure on this outlying base. But NightMare is really starting to put the pressure on. Where is this army? It's spread out across a couple bases from here, and he has scans. He can go and find positions, but if NightMare finds a salient point where the army is not, that can be what he's looking for. Of course, this is Moondance, though. And Moondance... Good luck breaking into those core 4. It is, you're going up a ramp and a tiny choke. If the Terran is any sort of concave, life becomes very difficult to deal with. But here he's found an opening. He's got a decent amount of his army here on this outlying base, and that will tell NightMare that he can make something happen here. Disruptors, Stalkers, Colossus. There's not a lot of the army here from the Terran, as the Disruptors are going to go out, but they're both going to get shot down. The base is not even going down. Not just yet, and this is a problem, because on the other side, yes, eventually the planetary will fall, but I mean, already the bio here is getting so much more. 2 Nexi have already fallen down, and, well, this is a little bit more problematic. NightMare is starting to really run into problems. He does have equal army supply. This army is terrifying. These 4 Colossus, these Disruptors. But I worry that you're playing a Terran in a Basetrade. Certainly, if Here can get on top of the Dark Shrine, it's going to be even better. There's like 1 DT on the map. Where is that Dark Shrine? Is it in the main base? Is it already dead? I think it might be. That's actually really important. Oh, it's we're just blind. It's in the main base. And thank you so much for the resub there with your Prime sub. Fear Dragon, I know you have many options when you when choosing who to spend your Prime sub on. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your Prime sub on us. And the Fear Dragon bot has arrived. That's the most important thing. He thinks NightMare has this game, and NightMare still may have this game. The army supplies are not all that different. And the bio is retreating home, but into a pretty significant choke here. And wait, do we have any? I don't know. Oh, there's 1 orbital. Scan gets dropped right now. Kira, can you make this fight happen? Colossus there exposed at the front. This is the Stalkers. They retreat back on home. All the tech is going down. This concave is more than enough. It felt like there might have been an opportunity, but nope. The positioning was not good enough. Kira did such a great job of saving his production. And the 2 Stalkers are going to recall out, but they're not even going to get out here. NightMare has 18 army supply. And yeah, there's some long distance mining though. You know what? This Dark Templar. There is 1 scan in 10 seconds. That is it. This DT is, well, it's working on units. It's working on things that are not killing Cure. So unfortunately, as much as we would love to talk about, the Savior DT, and you always look at that when we're looking at Basetrade, it's not enough. I mean, it's still doing a lot. It's still, I mean, the problem is it's only +2. It doesn't have +3. So it takes 2 swipes off to kill off an SCV. It takes 2 swipes to kill a Marine. And there we go. EMP goes off. And that's going to be the last of the Dark Templar. I don't think it's going to get much done here either. So NightMare, I can understand staying in this game. He This was a pretty close base trade. They may not understand, but there we have it. Yeah, Cure takes the victory, and it's going to be Cure versus Dark in the semis.